Hey, what's up, y'all?
Hi, it's DreNik.
DreNik in the building!
So, for a long time, we've been talking about getting on video and answering questions and talking about things people ask us, and then kind of share what is going on in the world of DreNik. So, I guess you could call this episode 1. We finally decided last week that we just have to do it. So here it goes.
Yeah, we, got to make time for it if it's really gonna happen. So maybe we should give a little bit of background about us.
Sure, cool.
All right, so I'm a kid from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, right? And I met this chick in Jersey a lot of years later. And I thought she was cool, and we got together and stuff like that. And then we've been rocking ever since. So since what, 2000 and what'd you say, 7, 6? We were like friends, and so
That's your intro.
that's the intro right there. That's basically it. And
Okay.
now it's 2018. Babe, I'm giving a short version.
All right, cool. I'll roll with it.
All right. So what? All right.
All right. So first topic.
Wait. No. We're both entrepreneurs, which is something that is rare, I guess. I ran a fitness business where I sent trainers all over the world, and we changed a lot of bodies, a lot of minds, made a lot of money, had a lot of fun, and also, I worked with Verizon and Prudential Financial. I helped manage gyms for them, and I did one-on-one training and coaching. Some of y'all might remember me from there. But since then, I've gone to...
currently...
Oh, yeah.
Because there's some people you currently work with.
Yes, and currently, I work with Marriott Renaissance Hotels. And they have a club sport.
You're an elite trainer there.
Yeah, I'm an elite trainer there. That's my base. You hear how she's sunning me right quick? Yo. So anyway, I have my own
I'm
workshop.
just trying to big you up. You just not a regular.
Yeah, I'm not regular schmegler. So anyway, I have I have my own course there, and it's called Strength School, and I teach Strength's Code. And basically what that is overcoming limiting head beliefs to help you get the body that you want. I also have a YouTube following called Built to Thrive TV, and you should follow us on Facebook and Twitter and all the other stuff.
Yeah, so look out for that. Like all of our stuff, we will start getting it up and running, but be patient with us because it's a new thing we're trying to fit in.
Yeah. Go. You gotta say what you do, because you don't.
Okay, so
anything.
I do, but you're our PR person anyway. Okay, so you gave the DreNik intro.
No, I gave the Dre intro, and the Nick has to do her intro.
No, you gave the DreNik, like us together, not your part.
I also did my part.
You want me to give my story?
Your story, no, your story of you being an entrepreneur, like what you do now and all that. I just did all that stuff.
Okay, I'm just talking about the part of us being together.
All right, I thought you said you would roll with my version.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I don't want to give another
version. Just do you.
All right, so me, I started my career in finance about 13 years ago. Left that. It's a long time coming. Took my severance, went to makeup school, launched a makeup business, freelanced as a makeup artist all over the New York tri-state area. Transitioned my business into personal branding, then branding consulting. Right now I work in a marketing sales contractor type roles for a few companies. I have to get clearance if I can say them, but it's related to the beauty and the wine industry, two of my favorite industries. So basically I get paid to drink a ton of free wine.
And bring me some too, from time to time.
Every week. He just doesn't love wine as much as me, but
Nah.
yeah, he has his specifics.
I like spirits and Chardonnay. She put me up on Chardonnay, y'all.
On chart. Okay.
Chard.
What else? Oh, and then my baby, Bubbles and Butter Artisan Skincare, which I'm currently in the process of making a wholesale order.
Go baby. Go baby. Go baby.
It's fun and exciting. I'm in 4 retailers. Well, 4 starting next week. Just did an event at PayPal headquarters yesterday in San Jose. They picked about 10 Black-owned businesses for Black History Month, and they had an entire marketplace where we were featured in front of thousands of employees to talk about our business and sell products. So that was fun. It was a draining day, and I came home and had a glass of wine. But it's just these opportunities of, you know, just being in the game so long, you just learn that you got to go with the flow, because it's also business. Even though it's your baby, it's still business, so you still need to make objective decisions and not other ones.
Oh yeah, another thing I like to say too. So not only has her business been through many different shades, and we both have many different hustles. That's just how life is now. But my business has turned from like fully being just fitness, and now I'm doing more coaching. Coaching of personal development, coaching of self-help, and now I'm speaking all over California to foster children, to at-risk children. I'm currently on the verge of becoming a spokesperson for a great organization.
Can't say it yet though, right?
Not yet. No ink has been dried, but it's a dream come true. It's
in the works.
Yeah, it's 180 degree evolution of me being a foster kid and now mentoring foster children. That's my baby, and that's how I give to the planet. And then coaching people, like last year alone, like I helped someone leave a dead-end job and create, now they're an addiction counselor, and they're opening up halfway homes. And then someone else who was already a highly successful executive, now they're mentoring women, young women, to get into tech out here in Silicon Valley, and so many other things. I got to help family members do their dream and their passion, and so that's part of the brainchild, because Nicole is so uplifting as a human being, and I'm so uplifting as a human being. We decided to Wonder Twin it out. Wonder Twins unite and combine our talents.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So what do you want to talk about?
Let's talk.
First vlog.
All right. So our first vlog, it ain't.
Black Panther.
It ain't Black History any month, but Black Panther is worth discussing. It's an awesome movie.
It's March 1st, so we could take one day to look at the last 28 days of Black History Month. So
yes, Black Panther was an awesome movie in my opinion. I love how it showed black males in different roles and black women looking strong and fierce and sexy. There were drug dealers, were there? There was no drug dealers in it, and they weren't black, which is good because we usually portrayed like that. There were no big drug kingpins. There were a couple of murderers in there, but the stereotypical roles were thrown out the window for the most part, and we got to see some superhuman fly black people on screen. I
was just real hyped about the excitement in general, about everyone seeing the movie. I enjoyed seeing everybody dressed up. I mean, we didn't go all out. I mean, we wore black, but
yeah, we did.
No.
We wore black. We also saw it on the biggest screen in California, which was
60 feet.
Yeah, 3-story.
I liked that they showed how pivotal women are to society, to like a thriving society in Wakanda, and that was just, you know, I felt like it was full support on each side, without like, you know, telling each other how like dumb you are. I mean, they were they were sending Agent Ross, but they weren't like, you know, getting on each other.
Yeah.
It was just like just a lot of positive images and energy towards it. I mean, I don't necessarily want to get into like the people upset and threatened by Black joy and excitement.
Right.
I'll leave that there. I just want to focus on the positive of it showed a lot of great light in different ways.
And then, like, there are also, like, you could look at it for surface level things. I believe with a lot of art, there's a surface level message that you're supposed to take away. Then there's a deeper message. And so there's a lot of different deep messages you can see. Like, one of the deep messages was, to me, sort of like the revolutionary black male in Killmonger. And if you didn't see it, this is a spoiler, but the revolutionary black male in Killmonger, right? He was more militant, and then you had like T'Challa, which was who was like more like a Martin Luther King type of thing, like, oh, we got to all come together and be at the UN and things like that. So you could look at those two dichotomies, and you could see how throughout the movie there was a villain, but he was just the more militant version of
T'Challa.
Yeah, it was. I think that when Stan Lee came up with it in the 60s, there was this political climate of these two black leaders, and then that's how the Black Panther came to be. But this Marvel take on it, it sort of demonized the militant, which would be the Malcolm X version. And that was something that I took away, and I was like, oh, that kind of, to me, doesn't seem to be the way that it should have been handled, because there is a certain amount of assertiveness that black people need to have if they're going to have a seat at the table in the first place.
I think Killmonger, or King Killmonger, is probably the most liked villain in history. I'll just go out on a limb and say it. I mean, like, if I see, like, if I'm scrolling down, like, my Instagram, like, all I'm seeing is, like, merch with Killmonger on it.
Yeah.
Anywhere from his picture to, like, hey, auntie, like, it's just all about him. So I don't think we see that a lot. Like, villains.
That's true. And
villains
then
become, like, so well liked. I mean,
another thing you could take away, too, is that there's a gift that black people have that they can give to the world and share with the world if they're not oppressed and thought of as less than. That was a moral that I took away from it too, because, you know, when at the end, if you stayed past the credits, you got to stay into the credits.
Just in general, for any Marvel movie, stay to the last second. That's their style. Like, they put parts of the movie, like, in the middle of the credits, and then after all the credits are done.
And then they give you the lead in to the next part and all that stuff. So, anyway, so what I was saying was, at the end, they were like, well, what can a village full of people who are doing cattle add to the world? And you know, a lot of times we look at a person, no matter what color they are, we look at a person, place, or a thing, and just sort of dismiss them because we don't see their value on the outside. But a lot of times you got to sit with that person, understand that person, and then you'll be able to see the value that they have as a human being, what they add to the world.
Yeah. I think that's a good take.
Yeah. All right. So, Black Panther, and that brings us to something else that we did. All
right, so let me give you a little backstory. So, like, I was out around town hustling with my wine gig, and I ran into this young lady. Now, she's mid-80s, but her spirit is that of a 40-year-old at minimum. And Dre met her, so he could vouch for this.
She's popping.
Just to give you an example, we were at our house for this event that we're going to get into, and just casually in a conversation, she was just like, you know, I have a third of my life left. And I looked at her, I was like, she's 85. Because she is just so driven that she's She's just a different type of human.
She's teaching at 85. She's doing workshops at 85. People are coming.
Crazy.
She's inviting and enrolling people into conversations.
Let me tell you. So I was out, right? So like I met her. First time meeting her, off the bat, we talked for like 20 to 30 minutes. Like we knew each other. And during that conversation, so I was telling her, you know, that in some of my branding and marketing consulting work, like I work with entrepreneurs and small businesses. So she was like, yeah, I have a film business. I'm making a film. I may need to hire you. So I'm just like, okay. I mean, in the beginning, she had told me she was 85. So I'm just like, oh, okay, like that's impressive. So we keep talking and talking, and she was like, oh, by the way, like I have this event at my house. It's called Racial, I forgot the exact name of it, but it's like Racial Conversations. And she was like, it's a group of us that come together on a monthly or bi-monthly basis. And it's people I invite all over the Bay Area, and we discuss race. So this is like back in November I met her, like November 2017. So her December event was coming up, and I was doing an event for Bubbles and Butter that weekend, so I couldn't go. And then January, me and Dre were like just fighting the flu basically for 4 weeks. So finally, February comes. I called her. I was like, oh, you know, I'm still interested in coming. I'll come to the February one. When is it? So she was like, you know, excited for us to come and whatnot. So we had this date bookmarked from January to go. So we get there Saturday night, not knowing what to expect.
Yeah. Up until that day, I thought it was like a podcast or a radio station.
Yeah, we're parking, and Dre is like, "Oh, what's the name of her podcast?" I'm like, "No, this is like a live.
This is a live
conversation
discussion
with other people." I was like, I have no idea how it is, but at this point, I've been talking to Mary for 3 months, so like, we gotta walk inside.
Yeah, they got good rapport.
So it's all strangers to us. I mean, some of them have been coming for years, monthly, so they know each other. Where are the newbies?
There was a few new people though. There were like
we were in
5
a
or
set
6
of new people, but there were some vets.
Yeah, there was some vets. Like and the thing that blew my mind was the amount of diversity, like real diversity there was.
Asians, whites, black. I mean,
Middle Eastern.
Yeah, like, and let's just a side note. If you're black in America, it doesn't mean that you're African American. And I'll leave that right there because we'll discuss that later. But there were Caribbean blacks. There were black people from the South. There were, you know, Latina blacks because that's...
Yeah.
So it was just a diverse group of people from as young as like 16 all the way up to 80 something because Mary, the host, is 80 something.
People from New York. Her son flew in from Manhattan.
Yeah, it was his first time though. I can't imagine how he got away that long. She recruited me hard. All right, so tell them about like what happened.
Then Nicole recruited me hard. All right, so
no, I just said we got something to do the 24th.
Yeah.
Do not book anything.
The video, So this video is getting long, but we went there and then. It was very well structured, right? So you had to raise your hand in order to speak, and then once you raised your hand, if someone was speaking, there were 2 moderators. Now, one moderator took a note that you raised your hand and then put it on a thing, and then everybody got to speak in the number in which they raised their hand. So there was no interrupting. People could say what they want from their heart.
There's no recording or pictures.
No recording.
You have to be present.
You have to be in there, and it's very rare that you have such a present space in this day and time because we're always on phones, we're always doing stuff. So the 2 moderators announced the topic. The topic is MLK winning or is Trump winning? If you look at the state of the country, who do you believe is winning? So in the comments, who do you think is winning? Because it
was a good discussion. Very rare. Okay, so I feel like race is a hot topic in general, but it's hard to have this conversation even though we need to have this conversation to move forward as a country. And in general as a human population all over the world. But it's just hard to listen. We're just not taught to listen. This was just very rare where no one's rebutting you, no one's like getting hostile,
nobody's
no one's
in their feelings about
like
it.
you could literally lay out your whole thought and talk real, like white people do this, or black people do this, and nobody's like up in arms. Like it's just a real conversation.
And I know right now you're probably thinking about like what was the demographic? The demographic was, how much would you say male female? Would you say like 60-40 female versus male?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then how many? Shoot, there was a lot of people of color at this thing. If you count everybody, I would say it was probably
40%.
40%. So 60-40, 60% white and 40% other. And then, so that's the kind of conversation. Now, we don't find ourselves in these mixed groups a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in general, each group talks about their issues with another race, with their own race. So it's kind of like preaching to the choir.
And
and the other thing too is that they are expanding these conversations. And I think Mary may have mentioned she got this from someone else who was having this conversation.
Another chapter.
So these are like,
and this is in
Berkeley,
California. And so we need to have these kind of conversations about race with people of other races. And one thing that I understood was that some people do have a knowledge of systemic racism, and others have no clue that it's even happening or going on.
Yeah.
It is like night and day. Either you're awake to it or you're not awake to it. And one of the guys there, he happened to be a white guy. He said, well, some of us are willfully ignorant. We know that something is going on, but we're not looking into it. Because it's, what was the example they used? It's like a walkulator. Like a walking...
the walking tram in the airport.
The walking tram in the airport, right?
Yeah.
So the way that society is built, that some people are on the tram while other people have to walk outside of it. And what equality means is breaking the tram. Not everybody wants to break the tram. Or wants to even look at the tram and say, what if everybody was on the tram? Right? So that's where some people got disheartened. Some people felt as though hope was not going to happen. And like, I'm a very hopeful person. So.
Yeah, I think, and it's not, like, I don't want y'all to think like it's a depressing conversation. It's not. It's just very enlightening. And then one of the white guys at the end said something that was also profound and very true. He was just like, you know, the talks of like, make America great again. And like, some people saying, when was America ever great? If we really look at it, this has been the best time for oppressed groups ever in the history.
Right.
Like if you had to pick between now and like 1930, if you are in a oppressed or minority group, you're gonna pick now.
Yeah, I'm not going.
Like you're not gonna.
I don't want to be born in 1930 or 1920s.